Good evening, everyone. It's Tom Sidney Bushnell, aka Numbers, or Tom Numbers, as people affectionately call me. Welcome to Psych Club, the Tom Numbers show, news of Tom Numbers, and top of your game. And I've got Mr. Matt Geiger with me again from Midas Gold Group. Matt, how are you, buddy?
What's going on, Tom? How are you? Everything's great over here. Phoenix is cold though.
Well, you're looking good. You're looking like you've got a tan. I think it's maybe the shade of the cap.
I
And
drive a Mustang. I drive a Mustang convertible, so sometimes I'll still get some sun, because it's like we'll get like 60-degree days, which, probably other people watching this, they're freezing their rears off in negative temperatures, so I apologize. But
yeah.
yeah, I drive a Mustang convertible and I tend to get some sun.
I managed to get a little bit of sun this week because thankfully 3 days of this week have been pretty sunny. It's been cold, and I don't drive. I drive a convertible, not a Mustang, but another M for Mustang. But it's I thought a bit of sun maybe on Monday, and then we did our show on Tuesday, and I was out again today. Did a show from the beach live. I mentioned you and the show we did, and so there's something really interesting. So when I introduced you last week, and I said top of your game, and I said, and Matt is a guy at the top of his game.
Yeah.
Well, I shared this with you, but I'm going to share it with the audience. I've told a few people on different platforms and stuff, but anyway, we're going to talk about it now because I can show the evidence. So I told you how President Trump confirms the work that we do, and he'll do it with special words, phrases, and timestamps. And so I introduced you and said, top of your game. I said, this guy's at the top of his game. Hours later, so President Trump won the caucus in Iowa on Monday. Iowa is 48. Tom is 48. The first two digits of your phone number from when people call in, which you can see on the screen, is 48, 480, which is an Arizona number, which is your number. So people call. I'm going to sound like DiCaprio. Pick up the phone and get dialing. So call Matt, and he'll tell you how he can do all kinds of wonders for you and get your portfolio in gold and silver. You can do that through the 401k and other things, and he's going to talk about some memorabilia coins. But President Trump never faileth. So the day after in New Hampshire, he's talking from the screen, and I think it's on the Right Side Broadcast Network. So they do the whole preliminary warm-up act beforehand, and then he's on. So it's 4 hours, 47 minutes, and 48 seconds when he said this, and I'm going to show it. So this is, and 48 is Tom, 48 is the first two digits of your number, 47 is John, 47 is Rachel, 47 is atomic number for silver. My sister Sarah, 47. She's age 47 today. It's her birthday. And 47 in numbers is Sarah's 47 in numbers. Anyway, so this is what happened. So I'm going to play it so people can actually listen. So I'm going to play the first. I'm going to play the first couple of. I'm going to play the first few seconds of our live show, what we did a few days ago. First show we did, and people can just watch and listen. So you'll notice what I've said. And it's actually 17 seconds, this little clip. But here we go. It's Tom Sidney Bushnell, Numbers, Psych Club, Tom Numbers, fella, a friend of mine that is Tom, and that's Mr. Matt Geiger. So that was the first few seconds of our first show we did about 3 days ago on Tuesday. President Trump speaks in New Hampshire literally a few hours later. And during that show, I said about how he talks to us on timestamps. Here we go.
We got in hundreds of millions of dollars, and I did it. She has a hit on Social Security. She wants to raise the age very substantially. You don't need that. We don't want to do that. And we have that liquid gold. We don't have to do that to our seniors. You earned it. You're right. Who said that?
Oh, that's the other one. Correction. Sorry, that's the other one.
Liquid gold.
So he took, because afterwards we talked about, we'd earned it and then liquid gold. Yeah, so you got liquid gold. So he's making reference to gold. Okay, everyone, you're gonna have to bear with me a second on this. So because the other clip is on my phone, and hang on. So we're still recording. You can still see me, Matt, but you might just see this close up. So where are we? There we go. Okay. So I got it here. So this one, I'm going to send to the other phone so everyone can watch and participate in what the great man said literally a few hours later. So that it's much better when people hear it and see it as opposed to me describing. I can give the commentary on it, but this is it. So that was the secondary com that he gave about liquid gold and you've earned it, etc. So yeah, Patriots they've earned their money, they've earned their money and they want to protect it. And so Matt can help you do that. And President Trump said liquid gold, he's given a reference. And he told everybody that you and me are top of our game. This is what he did. So here we go. So this is what President Trump said literally hours after the show that you and me recorded. Okay. So I said top of your game, and I said you're at the top of your game, and this is what President Trump said hours later. And I told everyone that he does these comps.
Get along with them as well, but they understood. But when you look at what we have here, can you imagine what they think when this guy walks into their office and he can't put sentences together? And these guys are at the top of their game. They're all at the top of their game. And
there you go, everybody. So I've spoken about timestamps for a long time. That's proper evidence of it. Because President Trump is the one that inspired me to get my second channel up again, top of your game with Tom Numbers. I was like, okay, President keeps talking it, because that used to be the subtitle of the Tom Numbers show, top of your game. Now it's top of your game with Tom Numbers, because I had to put it, had to recreate it again, put it back up. There it is. That's how he does it. And then in the other clip, the second clip, let's play the second clip. So he talks about liquid gold here.
I did all of it. We got in hundreds of billions of dollars, and I did it. And she has a hit on Social Security. She wants to raise the age very substantially. You don't need that. We don't want to do that. And we have that liquid gold. We don't have to do that to our seniors. You earned it.
Midas Gold Group,
You're
liquid
right.
gold. Who said that? You said that. You said it to me earlier. Yeah. There we go. I think that might be the end of the clip.
That's a good point. You earned it. You did earn it, and you don't need that. And the same thing with Medicare. They want
to. Good point. Good is 41. TSB, my initials. Point is 74, which is gematria. So President Trump's coding all the time. He's a big part of the reason I understood all this. So I got it through Diana. I got it through President Trump. I got it through the Kennedys and Q and everything else. And divine guidance. And that's how it all works. And it's live time, it's real time, it's hours later. So welcome to the world of the numbers, Matt. He's confirmed us. He said these guys are at the top of their game. So that's you and me. And people are like, well, what is he? No, well, timestamp. I talked about the timestamp. It's on 4 hours, 47 minutes, and 48 seconds. 48 is Tom. 48 is the beginning of your phone number.
Well, it's intriguing because, we started seeing that when the 17th letter of the alphabet emerged. And people were, people heard about it. A lot of people heard about it, but you really had to investigate it to really see it was legit, right? Yeah. Where those timestamps would match up. And like somebody like you is so much better at decoding this stuff among several other people that I follow. It's just interesting, what people can discern, just using the numbers. Yeah. And that's what drew me to your work. That's what I think got us together. And then, here we are, starting a little partnership together. But, I didn't want your audience thinking I'm just a, gold, silver guy. I'd love to give your audience, maybe some, tips for, collecting into this movement, something I've managed to do. You can probably see in my background, I got all the Juan and Jennifer stuff, right? Something your audience can do is, I find like eBay to be a great place. People can buy George magazines, right? Some of the old George magazines. I got my first copy of the Survival Guide to the Future, the February 97. I got my first 2 copies for like $20 and $30 back in 2018, because my aunt was the original publisher of George. She published those original issues.
Yeah, tell us about your aunt. And you're going to send me one of those, aren't you?
Yes.
February is my birthday. So, February is spaceship, and there's kind of an indication of a spaceship on the front of that.
And I have my aunt was, she's kind of separate, she kind of keeps her privacy, and, she doesn't really talk about this stuff, but.
Oh, she's still around with us today then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She, my mom's sister, Eleanor, you'll see her listed in, issue 1 with Cindy Crawford on the cover, right?
Yeah.
You'll see her, right? And the reason it's Cindy Crawford is one of my viewers on another podcast that I sit in on. She figured out that George Bush was from Crawford, Texas.
Yeah.
So, George Bush probably picked, senior George Bush probably picked up that magazine and was like, oh shit. It's
shit.
Yeah. But my aunt published that up until JFK Jr.'s death. But you can, Google Eleanor Carmody Gibbons, JFK Jr., and you'll see, she's in that editing room with, the woman on the front cover of the Survival Guide with Matt Berman, Berman's photo, and some other woman. But I've been collecting into this stuff for years. I mean, I showed you, I wish I had it here. I used to have it on my wall here, but I have the original Cindy Crawford issue signed by JFK Jr.
Yeah.
And I didn't, I didn't pay that much for that. It's amazing what you can find on eBay. It's just like a full-time task, but something your viewers can find is, I'll show you this coin. This is a Republic of Liberia coin. This is not the silver one. The silver one you want, but this is a cheaper one. This is the one I had at my desk here. But it's from the Republic of Liberia. And it's the 1997, so you can put in on eBay, 1997 silver Liberia coin, and you'll get the $20 Princess Diana coin. I think these will have some value, and you can pay. They're going to run you from maybe $50 to $80. Stuff like
when you said Liberian dollar, that made me think of Michael Jackson's song "Liberian Girl."
Oh wow! I never put that together.
Yeah.
There's also a 1999 silver Liberia coin with JFK Jr. and Senior on the $50. They're very hard to find. It's the 1999 silver Liberia coin, and they can get expensive. I paid anywhere from, $40 to $200. Just depends. But if you can pick one up for a couple $100, I think it's well worth your time. This is a 2014 Kennedy $50 set. It's got, and this is not really stuff that Midas does. Like we do more gold and silver for investment purposes, practicality. This stuff is just more, hey, you want to have some Kennedy mementos at the right time in the future. This would be some stuff to get. But, this contains from 2014, it's got the $50 in it. It's got the reverse proof.
Nice.
Kind of a little set. You can get these up. You can snag these pretty cheap. It's the 2014. So it would be the 50th anniversary to the 1964 $50. That's kind of fun.
When you say about Princess Diana, Matt, so I've mentioned her already. She's a big part of the numbers for me.
Right.
And I noticed, I looked at your website, and I know you've got 2 offices, but the one that is number 109, is that the Arizona office?
That's our suite number, yeah.
Okay. So if you might know this, but I'm going to remind viewers. So the number 109, when you spell the word 17, SEVEEN, sorry, TEEN, 17 equals 109 in the numbers. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Also equals Zapruder, 109. It also equals Witness, 109. And it also equals Diana Spencer, 109. And it also equals my channel, Psych Club, 109. So I saw that and I was like, we're on track.
We're lining up.
We're lining up.
Interesting.
We're lining up.
Yeah, I think we should do like an episode. I did one with Rachel where I pulled out a lot of my collectibles, but it's stuff that like you can still probably find some of this stuff. I've kind of I've kind of stopped by, but I know your audience, they're probably looking for ways like, hey, maybe a survival guide is like way too much money because they're, going for thousands of dollars these days. Maybe there's
Yeah.
something like Diana coin that somebody can pick up for 50, $100.
Yeah.
And, have like
And
a
when
nice.
she comes back, that's going to be worth a lot of cashola.
I think so. I've picked up. I'd love to show you the collection, but I don't want people to think like, hey, you just got to do gold and silver with me. Like, I'm happy to just point people in the right direction.
Yeah.
Maybe people
This is
that
nice. This is extra added value. It's like fun. It's history. It's
fun. Yeah.
It's emotive. It's cool. And Liberian Girl, Michael Jackson sung it, and there's pictures of MJ and Diana together. And he's got even at the Netherland ranch, he's got what looks like a queue on the lawn. So
yep, it is a queue.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it is a queue. It is.
Yes.
And who's the girl on the front cover of the survival guide? Who is she?
Oh, that's I forget her name. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. You know what we should do? And I haven't said it to her, but if she'll probably watch this. We should get Rach to recreate that so she could just dress up like that chicken. She could just do a modern cover of it. And
she does look like that. So I never even thought about that.
Yeah, just Rach could do that, and that'd be a good cover. So Rach, I'm always giving you good ideas. That's a good front cover for one of your George issues in the next, couple of weeks. Just do that. That'd be great. Yeah.
Where are we going to find that costume though?
I know. I'm sure someone can make it.
Going to have somebody make it because I don't think.
I think Gene Ho's pretty good with the needle and thread. So
that's
Gene, I know you're a photographer, but you could be good at weaving as well. So
that is hysterical. But it's like to your audience, it's like, yeah, we do gold and silver, but I just, like I said, I want people to, be able to get a piece of the action and like check out my podcast, the Boomerang Podcast on YouTube. I had some really awesome guests. I just said Chad Robichaux. Chad is a former Force Recon Marine. I mean, this guy, he's been in combat, with the Taliban. He's out rescuing people out of war zones in the Ukraine. He rescued some people out of Israel. And it's funny because I was just talking to him here in the store. And he's like, I just called my millionaire friends. And he's like, hey, can I borrow your plane for the weekend? We're going to rescue 25 people. And literally these rich guys just let him use his plane just to go rescue hostages in combat zones. So, I mean, talk about, American folklore. This guy is, right there. So I had him on. And then yesterday, that'll go up probably today, maybe Monday, but I had David K. Clements. And we know the story with David K. Clements. I'm sure your audience does, but he's a really interesting guy. He just did the movie Let My People Go. So your viewers can go to frankspeech.com and rent that or buy that. Let My People Go.
Moses.
And if you use the promo code SV Neverland, Sydney Victor Neverland, you can get it for half off.
Okay.
Everybody should go see that movie. It's about what happened in the 2020 thing that we won't say by name.
Yeah.
Right. What happened with the J6 people, what they're doing behind the scenes. This guy, David K. Clements, is literally putting everything on the line, his own finances, everything to go after, companies like Dominion.
Yeah.
And you name it. So it's like he's a patriot through and through. And an interesting guy.
You know what I've noticed when you said Boomerang is maybe you can tell us why you came with the name, but Boomerang's 90 in numbers, which is economy. So that's going to come back. That will bounce back. But Boomerang is 90. One of my friends, her numbers come to 90. But Boomerang, or the Boomerang, is 123, which is silver plus gold. So that's nice. And then podcast, guess what? The word podcast actually comes to 78. And the name Kennedy comes to 78. So it's very interesting. Yeah. You seem to know that. Yeah.
I had no prior knowledge. I've been told some stuff about the numbers of the Boomerang podcast before. It really came from, hearing from the 17th letter of the alphabet, right? The Boomerang. Yeah. Also in Trump's office in Trump Tower in New York, he's got the framed boomerang on the wall, and then the photo of him and JFK Jr., that very famous photo, right above it.
Has he?
Yeah.
So there's an actual boomerang.
An actual boomerang in Trump's Manhattan.
You got a picture of that? I don't think I've seen that.
I do have a photo of it. Actually, I'd have to go through my phone, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please.
I got it from the interview he did with one of the ladies from the Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
Somebody, and they were walking around his office, showing off, Shaquille O'Neal's big shoe.
Ah, that one. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah. And if you
Yeah.
look as he moves closer to his door, you can see right on the wall the boomerang and the photo of him and JFK Jr.
Okay.
Yeah, I captured that. So
Are
too
people
fitting.
paying close attention to this podcast, everyone? I hope you're paying close attention. I hope you're paying close attention. I remember that one with the Shaq, but because President Trump does some classic codes. I did it probably 2 years ago, but he does some stuff. It says, "Oh, it's a great big foot" or something like that with Shaq.
Right.
And I coded it. I need to look at it again, but he's coding there and then in front. He's doing gematria coding right in front of people. So he's been doing this stuff for a long, long time.
I mean, there was that person in The Apprentice that was wearing a hat like this with Q on it.
Was there?
Yeah.
You have got to send me that clip as well.
I'll have to find that. I almost want to get The Apprentice and watch the whole everything.
I know, because it will all be there.
Tom, I didn't even like. I grew up in New York. I remember Trump in the papers. My parents couldn't. He's just like womanizer. Rich guy. Everybody thought. And it's like I couldn't stand him. And then when he ran for president, I'm like, this is the freaking guy.
Yeah.
Just saying everything you want to say to these people, he's doing it for you in style.
Yeah.
And I was like, totally new opinion on the guy. Never liked him. Never liked him until he ran for president.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked him. I never really got into. So I knew he was getting heat in 2016 and onwards, but it was US politics, and I wasn't really interested.
Right.
But you couldn't help hear that they were attacking him, and I was like, that's a weird thing that they're going for him. And then 2020 came in, and then boom, it was like, I mean, the boom. It was a boomerang. It was like, what's this? And instantly, I remember when he did the flight ban, and I was supposed to go to America that like 2 days later, and he actually allowed me to still go. But the people I was going to go and see were like, no, panicking, and it's the Who, whatever. Yeah. With Roger Daltrey, the Who, But so I didn't go. But I remember watching him and listening, and something came over me. I was just like, everything's going to be okay. This is massive, but he's our guy, and I just knew. So I'd always liked him. I met Ivanka in 2015. I had my first number experience when I met her around at the time of my cousin Paul's death, it was his birthday yesterday. But the first number I got was 118. That's January 18th. That was his day of birth, but 118 is the storm. And it all happened. I met Ivanka. Then a couple of days later, I go to Statue of Liberty, which is 198, which is the resurrection, which is President Trump, 198. People talk about the Statue of Liberty like it's, okay, maybe it was in the past, but it's all coming back round, So I think of it as a great symbol of hope now. I always have, and then I met a couple of people on different days along that waterway, one to Staten Island, one to Statue of Liberty, and they had the same date of birth as my cousin. He just died, So I was like, something's going on here. What's the statistical chance of that? And then I met a third person back in England with the same date of birth. So I knew that communication could happen, but I hadn't correlated it with letters and numbers until 2020 came in. So I got a prequel of it, and then rolled on 5 years, and we got to 2020, and it just went like steroids. But the interesting thing about The Apprentice in numbers, The Apprentice is 140, which is the military 140, magic quantum or quantum magic 140, or quantum gate 140, and I think we went through that. I think we're going to go through another one, but also Tom Numbers is 140. So it's like The Apprentice 140, Tom Numbers. Okay, I'll take that. So it's like it's amazing, and I've always fancied Ivanka from the first time I saw her on the show. So the Maid of Manhattan, I bump into her.
Yeah. We should I interviewed Juan a couple months back, probably 2 months ago, and he gave some really good insights in terms of what we can expect in the financial system. So if your viewers want to check, go to my podcast and you can listen. It's about an hour 40 minutes, but we should get
an hour 40, 140. The Trumps, The Apprentice, Tom Numbers, the Quantum.
We should maybe get Juan on, the three of us.
Yeah, well, I'm supposed to have done a show with him, but the Scarlet Pimpernel has popped up and then he's disappeared, and he'll pop up again. So if you're listening, Juanito, the Scarlet Pimpernel,
'Cause
I'm just talking about that right now,
I love his insights into the economy and what's going to take place.
Well, economy's 90 boomerang. Yeah.
I'd love to see what some of his updates are because I don't like to bother him. I don't message him all the time. Like I leave him alone. He
Yeah.
actually messaged me recently, but other than
He'll
that,
do that. Or sometimes just send random videos or screenshots of stuff. And yeah.
and he's so cool because he's so generous with his time. Like he agreed to come on our podcast and I did it for about an hour, 40 minutes. But the day before I spoke to him on the phone for over an hour, just, letting him feel me out and kind of get on the same page in terms of what we want to talk about. Yeah. And I mean, the insights that he gave in terms of like what's coming, I mean, it's like, if you want to know kind of what's going to happen in the future in the financial system, I think we got some pretty good insights. I mean, he can't say, specifically 100% exactly what's going to take place because some of it's probably, they got to be flexible, right? I'm sure they got to be able to be flexible in what they actually wind up doing. But it seems like we'll have multiple types of dollars. He talked about not just, gold and silver money, but oil-backed money.
There you go, liquid gold.
Right? Liquid gold. So in other words, back our dollar by United States, oil that we drill in the United States, which seemed great to me, right? Have diversification in the dollar again. Sounds fantastic, and I'd love to get some updates from him on the economic stuff. That would be great. We should do something with him.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to come on again, so when we can get him on. This is interesting. And when you said about let my people go, that's what Moses said. And Moses is 71, smart 71. I don't mean in terms of meters, but just intelligence. And 71 is Lady Diana. And it's a mirror of 17. And if you do 71 plus 17, it gets you to 88, which is Trump. So liquid is, this is interesting. Hang on. Liquid. I've done it, but I'm just going to double check it. LIQUID. Yeah, liquid. So liquid is 72, which is also the word first. So America first, America liquid. And what's the liquid under America? It's gold or oil. Both. You've got oil, but you've got gold. But also that's money. So liquid is money. So when people talk about are you liquid, are you money? The gematria is exactly the same. So liquid is 72, money, and liquid is 72. If you do liquid gold, it's 110, which is president. 110.
And if you take 72, reverse it, you get 27, which is Kennedy.
Yeah, JFK. Yeah.
JFK, right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also the word code. So let's see. So 72 plus 27, what's that?
See, I got some skills.
99. You have.
Skills.
You have, man. You're good at playing along. Yeah.
That's about it.
What's that?
I said that's about it. You're the expert.
Well, I don't know. You never know who you're talking to. So, but 27 plus 72 is 99, which is Patriot, which is Ascension. So, yeah. And what would liquidity be? So that'd be 72 plus the I. So liquidity, IT. Liquidity is 126, 107. John Connor, Ricky Lambert. Ricky Lambert's a soccer player here in the UK. Played for Liverpool, England, Southampton. And there's also Matt Letizia. So they're two prominent names in England in soccer culture, football culture, that are patriots like us, like you and me, stand up and speak. Anyway, so Ricky's 126, and he's Ricky Lambert. But remember the film Highlander? Do you remember Highlander?
I vaguely remember that movie. Yes.
So Highlander, the guy, the main one, the actor's name's Christopher Lambert. And so I always say to Ricky, well, Ricky Lambert, Christopher Lambert. 126 is 107. 126 is John Connor in the Terminator movies, so the time traveler. 126 is also the atomic number for gold is 79, and the atomic number for silver is 47. But if you do 47 plus 79, so atomic number for silver plus atomic number for gold, it's 126, which is liquidity, which is 107, which is Ricky Lambert. and then Christopher Lambert. Christopher's 139, which is money exchange. So there's a lot of and actually I think Lambert is 71, which is the first one. Let me just check. I think that's when you talked about, you gave the Moses reference. Yeah. So yeah, Lambert 71. Christopher Lambert's 210, which is the 4th of July. I could go on and on, but yeah, we'll do one with one. We'll get them on. There's others as well we can get on. We'll do one with Rachel. We'll get others on, and tell us more about. So I don't know about this, but something to do with Eisenhower. So I'm not that great on all my American presidents.
Yeah, so that was actually something we're going to talk about as like a collectible. I like some of those old silver Eisenhower proof coins, and they're cheap. You can get them. You can get them for $20.
Okay.
I tell audiences about this stuff because I think Eisenhower, he's the military-industrial complex, right?
Yeah.
Gave that in his final
speech. And his daughter's around. She's a trooper, isn't she? Yeah. Laura, do you know her?
I don't know her personally, but I see her on Nino's Corner a lot, and she's terrific.
She'd be good to get on. Yeah.
Laura Eisenhower, she's wonderful.
Yeah.
She talks about some topics, man. I mean, some of it could be out there for some people. I embrace it, but I think Eisenhower had his hand in this from the beginning. I think he was somebody who really shaped the whole 17th letter of the alphabet movement.
What year did Eisenhower serve as president? What years?
He would have been 55 to 59.
Okay, right? So he was just before JFK.
56 to 60, because Kennedy took office in January of 61.
Okay, so Eisenhower was literally just before. So JFK took over from Eisenhower.
Pretty much, yeah. And they were good friends. In other words, he went to Eisenhower for a lot of insights and advice. You can see that they were good friends.
Okay.
Right. And as we talked about, Nixon really won that election. Nixon won that election against Kennedy. Nixon was, of course, Eisenhower's VP. Right. But Nixon you've heard the story about in Chicago where the Kennedys, right, they were kind of a mafia family. They rigged Chicago for Kennedy, and that put him over in the entire election. But Nixon stepped back because he didn't want the country to go into chaos. He says, "Hey, I'll just step back, let Kennedy." I think they were probably friends, all working together at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think what Eisenhower understood was prior to Kennedy is Eisenhower probably had the insights in the military industrial complex. He probably knew some very sensitive details. I mean, I think he was a 5-star. I think he was a 5-star general.
Okay.
So he would have known tippy top secrets, right? Tippy top. He would have known a lot of the secrets, and I think his story will be told in the coming years about what he did to push forward the Patriot movement even after Kennedy's death. Because I think Eisenhower died in 68 or 69, and then they put out in 71, they put out the Eisenhower dollar, right? One for circulation, right? Those are the big, anybody in the United States will remember them, but they're the big goofy $1 coins.
Okay.
They're very large $1 coins. And they put out some in silver that were just more commemorative. They're only 40% silver. And then you do a proof version. A proof is like what I showed you with the Kennedy coins, where they have that mirrored finish. And those weren't made for circulation. Those were just made for mint sets and collectibles. But when you collect, and again, Midas, we're not really collectors here. I'm just sharing my own personal interests with. When you look at the mintage from 1971 to 1978, that's a very small mintage, a very short period of time. Think about how long the penny's been around, or the quarter, right? Or they've been around for decades, right? This is a very short produced coin. The proof sets, they're relatively low mintage compared to what they circulate. And I think when the story's told about Eisenhower, people are going to flock toward, just like they're going to flock toward Kennedy memorabilia. I think people are going to want Eisenhower memorabilia. And what's nice is you can get, an Eisenhower proof coin for $20 or less. Silver proof Eisenhower on eBay. Just go to eBay, silver proof Eisenhower, and you'll get them from anywhere from 1971 to 1976.
Wow.
So I just think they're
good for Eisenhower. I didn't know that about him. Yeah.
just kind of cool stuff that anybody on any budget can get a piece of the action. And I think in time, I think those will be valuable collectibles.
Yeah. Brilliant, buddy. Well, as always, I mean, it's our second show, but it's been a lot of fun. We'll be doing it again. We'll do some more next week together. So the links are below, but your phone number is there. Do you want to just tell us your number?
Yeah, it's 480-725-0536. It's my direct line. Right, I answer all my own calls. And yeah, I think what it comes down to, as I said in the last episode, is it's like people, when you do gold and silver, you want people that you can trust, that'll give you a good price, right? Give you the real deal stuff that's been tested.
Yeah.
So that's why I think people like working with me, is I put them in the right stuff, they get a great price.
Yeah.
Right. And everybody wins, and it, supports your show, supports what we're doing.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate working with you.
You too, buddy. You're, this sounds corny, but you're a breath of fresh air. So I'm glad to work with you and have you on. And President Trump said these guys are at the top of their game. So President Trump has endorsed us. So, pick up the phone, get in touch. All right, buddy. Well, enjoy your weekend.
Hey, you too. I'll see you soon.
See you. Yeah. God bless,
Adios.
man. Take care, Matt. Cheers, man. Bye.